A dream without a plan is basically just a fairy tale. Yes, I have the same t-shirt as Amberlyn Reed. I like Betsy Johnson. What are you gonna do? Betsy Johnson? Betsy Johnson? Betsy Johnson. Now that I've said her name 3 times, is she like gonna show up? I don't think I'm prepared for that. Welcome back to my channel. I am doing an unboxing with you today and an unveiling. Ooh, the grand unveiling of my new strategy. I love that nutrition scientists call certain types of eating and diets and food plans strategies. You will never achieve your goals without a strategy, right? So let's talk strategy. Over the course of my life, I've tried like everything. And I keep going back to which way of eating made me feel the most energetic, the happiest, and was the most sustainable and realistic for me, and also gave me results as far as my clothing sizes going down and the scale going down. I'm going to reveal that to you in a little bit. But first I want to talk about what's not working for me. So I've been trying pretty much in everything in moderation. I'm not going to say intuitive eating because I have been tracking calories. The intuitive eating philosophy is that you shouldn't ever have to track your calories, that your body's going to know what to do. I personally think that's bullshit, especially when you've gotten to be morbidly obese. If you're morbidly obese, obviously intuitive eating ain't working for you. You have no idea what your hunger cues really want. Your stomach is stretched out beyond belief. How are you going to know when you're full or hungry? How are you going to fucking know? I never understood that. I fired my therapist for recommending intuitive eating to me and for recommending that I read the book Healthy at Every Size. No, you're out of here. You're no therapist for me. It doesn't make logical fucking sense that somebody who is morbidly obese could ever do intuitive eating. Now, eventually, sure, after you've lost the weight, you could. Michelle McDaniel, one of my favorite people. If you're in the health and wellness space, she's no stranger to you. You know who Michelle McDaniel is. She had a problem with binge eating disorder, and she was also obese. I don't know if she was ever morbidly obese, but she was obese. And she is very healthy. And she can go to Disneyland. Yeah, Disneyland or Disney World, whatever. The Disney theme parks. And eat all of the delicious stuff over the course of the day and not wind up binging.
So basic you are.
To me, that's intuitive eating. But she had to learn about nutrition and how to feed herself and how to give herself boundaries with problematic foods like hot Cheetos. She had to do all of that before she could intuitively eat. So I personally am going to have to count calories for a while. Moderation has not been working for me. I haven't been binging, which is great, but I also feel like I have not been at enough of a caloric deficit because I've just been hanging out at about a 30-pound weight loss for like 3 years. I should be at 60, 80. I should probably be at about 80-pound weight loss by now. And that would be easy, 20 pounds a year. And I should probably be at about a 75-pound weight loss by now. So something ain't adding up, right? Shit's not adding up. It's my calculator. Shit's not adding up. So I'm here to tell you that moderation isn't working.
Ice cream, cookies, things like that, but it's moderation.
Let's just get to my unboxing because this is going to show you a strategy that I plan to implement. Uh-oh. Oh, I was like, it's not in there. It's in there. Sometimes I question the way Amazon decides to package things, It's like, why on earth? All right. So The two strategies that I have enjoyed the most and that have really worked for me and that I can see myself putting together into one strategy is the keto diet and the Mediterranean diet. I love them both. They both make me feel phenomenal. And I've been studying a lot of nutrition science. By the way, go with the scientists, not with the doctors. Go with the scientists. They're very, very open and agnostic about whatever food plan you're eating. As a matter of fact, I learned the term strategy from nutrition scientists. Nutrition Made Simple is one of my favorite channels. I highly recommend you check that out. He calls it a strategy. I've heard other scientists call it strategies too. Check out any interview by Christopher Gardner. He's one of my favorite. Tim Spector, Simon Hill. Wonderful, wonderful scientists. They got me to this point where I feel completely empowered, and I know that this is the strategy and plan that is going to work for me. This is my first cookbook. The optimal keto-friendly diet that burns fat, promotes longevity, and prevents chronic disease. Yeah, sign me the fuck up. The thing about the way that I was doing keto in the past, there was no doubt it was working, but it got to a point then where I plateaued. And when I plateaued, I got really extreme with it and I went carnivore. I went carnivore for 30 days and I flipped my lid. I freaking lost it. And then the fat acceptance movement sucked me right back in again. And I gained all the 40 pounds I had lost within about 3 months. I gained it all back within 2 and then some. I gained back like 50. I got to 290. And thankfully I didn't throw away my scale. I kept it. And when my clothes were starting to really, really just get so uncomfortable, I was feeling so awful. I was like, this ain't right. I can't do this. I need to weigh myself. And I was like, oh, fuck, we're not getting up to 300. No. And I pulled the plug on that and went on Weight Watchers. And Weight Watchers helped me get there. But again, all things in moderation. I don't think I can do it. I just don't think I can do it right now. I think eventually I could. I'm not binging, but I'm not in a big enough caloric deficit. So something's just got to change. And I've got to get a little more, I've got to focus on foods that truly help me achieve my goals. And that's what going on a Mediterranean version of the keto protocol is, I believe, going to help me do that in a way that is sustainable and fun and pleasurable and wonderful. The thing about the keto diet that's always kind of made me scratch my head is I think I focus too much on red meat and saturated fat. And there's a lot of science out there that proves that you might want to be careful about how much of that is in your diet. That's why I worry. I'm like the auntie of the internet, worrying about everybody. I worry about people on carnivore who are eating nothing but red meat. This bacon, beef, butter, and eggs diet stuff, what are they doing to their bodies? It worries me because saturated fat may not be the devil that it was portrayed to be, but it's also not something that you just want to eat with reckless abandon either. It's something to be careful about. I like it that the Mediterranean diet focuses on more heart-healthy versions of fat, like nuts and seeds, avocado, olives, olive oil. I like the thought of incorporating more polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats into my diet with the saturated fat. It's good to have a really broad lipid profile, in my opinion. I'm not a food scientist myself. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not giving you advice. I'm just sharing with you what I've learned and what I feel like I want to employ in my life. I really love fish. half the time if I lived in a coastal city, I would probably go all out pescatarian, but I live like in the Midwest in a very small town, and that's just not going to be, it's not going to be realistic to do that. But I really do like high quality meats and proteins and a little less red meat, but I still have red meat. I've got a good chop order on its way. I got some flank steaks and some burger patties. The burger patties are higher fat. The flank steaks are lower fat. And then I have a lot of fish and chicken. That's my big strategy. I'm going to be doing a Mediterraneanized, if that's even a word. It's not. I love to make up words. Words are fun. A Mediterranean version of, and I don't even think it's going to be like strict keto, because I do really feel like grains are super good for you. Fiber is so good for you. So I will stick to whole grains. This will be the foundation of my strategy. Is the core of it will be a Mediterranean version of a low-fat, high-carb. Sorry, I meant to say low-carb, high-fat, not low-fat, high-carb. Hello. And when I do eat carbohydrates, it will be very much in moderation, very sparingly, and it will be whole grain versions of those carbohydrates. By the way, I had asked in my grocery haul video if that Dave's Killer Seed bread was any good, or if it was going to be like eating sawdust. The answer to that question is that bread is awesome. It is so good, and it's made me nice and regular, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, you're gonna have to pry that bread out of my cold freezer burned hands. I'm not ever letting that go. Yeah, I'm excited to dive into this book and just kind of learn what the strategy is and get some ideas, some meal ideas. And I'm getting low on groceries, so I'm going to have to plan out my menu. So along with this food protocol, I'm going to continue going to the gym as I have been. I've been going every other day. When I'm at that gym, I'm there from, it takes me an hour and a half. I walk the track and I do a good 45 minutes to an hour of strength training. I'm focusing mostly on strength training, and my cardio is just a good brisk walk with jam into my tunes and just enjoying the ride. I would like to get more walks in, I think, to where I'm exercising every single day. Sometimes I get sucked into my work. I'm work from home, and I will admit I don't get up enough. So that's another strategy to employ, is walking more throughout the days when I'm not going to the gym. Active rest days. I need more of those in my life. I will wind up hanging out with you and doing a meal plan with me kind of video, whether it's a recorded video or a live video, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just start with a recorded video. Maybe it could be a regular series. Unless it's boring and tanks and nobody likes it, then it won't be a regular series. But we're early days in my channel, so we're in experimentation mode. Just like with my food and my exercise, and we're trying all these different strategies. Strategy is the word of the day, I guess. So thank you for hanging out with me and letting me reveal my new plan to you. I'll definitely check in with you on how it's going. I'll share recipes with you. I'll meal plan with you. But yeah, I'd like to get more food-based stuff into this channel because we all love food, right? It brings us together as a culture, as a species, and it would be really fun to do more of that with you here. So thank you for chatting with me about my strategy. Have a great day, night, week, whatever, all of the above. I'll see you next time. Bye.